Do you get frustrated when that final stitch of your bind off lifts up a little bit, kind of goes to a point, and you have to fiddle around and play with it to make it lay down flat? I sure do. Hi, welcome to CHeri Knits. I love knitting and I want you to love it too. Today I'm going to show you a trick that I figured out to make that final stitch lie flat so you have a nice smooth edging on your knitted piece. Let's get started. I don't know about you, but I get really annoyed when I've finished my piece and bound off and I get this weird little lift at the end, this little ear sticking up. That happens a lot with a traditional bind off when you get to the end, and then you have to fiddle with the stitches and move them around to eliminate that final lift in the stitch. What I'm going to show you today is how to get rid of that lift and have your bound off stitches and just have it end really nice and straight so you don't have to do a lot of fiddling around and playing around to make that look nice and smooth at the end. And so I'm going to show you how to avoid this and how to achieve this. And it's super, super simple. When you're knitting your piece and you get to the final row before your bound off row. So in this situation, I'm on the wrong side row. I just need to purl this row and then I'll be ready to bind off. So let's get the needle up here. And it doesn't matter if you're doing garter stitch, if you're doing stockinette stitch, ribbing, whatever your stitch pattern is. What you want to do on the row right before your bound off row is slip that first stitch purlwise. So I enter the stitch as if I'm going to purl. I've got the yarn in the front, slip it over, do not knit it, and then finish knitting the row. And what that does is it stretches that first stitch so that it's taut, it's stretching across two rows, and it will just naturally pull this whole thing down. So when you finish and go back to bind off, you're going to end up with this nice finished edge, and you won't notice that you're missing a stitch on the end. You won't be able to see that slip stitch. So that is how to get rid of that annoying little bump that happens. And I would really appreciate it if you'd give this a try. Let me know how you liked it. And just remember, you can do this because you are the boss of your knitting. I hope that was helpful to you. Leave a comment and let me know if you were able to use that trick and how you liked it. And don't forget to check out my courses. I have a Knitting 911 course that will give you lots of tips and tricks to help you fix your knitted problems. Click the link below.